And we got all of our puck lights in. They're all wired up with switches on both sides, which is nice. And now I want to, we noticed that there was a drip coming through the ceiling, through one of the bolts that were bolted into the ceiling. So let's close that up. And we made the van nice and neat yesterday so that we have a fresh space to work. I'm a big believer in clean working spaces. So you can see what's happening and we're not tripping over all of our past work. I also have some fun little diagrams and dimensions that I was measuring up. So I'm going to use the magnets and I'm just going to pop these up near the door so I can keep my eye on them. This can move, and these have been my little hook magnets. They're actually so strong that they're hard to pull off sometimes. That's a little measuring guide we were using for the lights. And this is something for the benches. Okay. And then this is, oh, you can't see that. This was our general, one of our to-do lists, which I've been trying to consolidate. And this is some van ideas. And I have actually some more little papers. I printed out some little design concepts just to get some, color schemas in my head. So that's a little one. And here's a second one. Get our little Pinterest action. Okay, we got our little design and then the little instructions. That's looking good. What I want to do is I want to take out the bolts from the roof, throw in some insulation. Sorry, not insulation. Throw in some silicone sealant, and then throw the bolts back in with because whoever did it the first time made a leaky job, and it's been rusting, and we do not want leakage coming in through behind our walls and insulation, because that's how we'll get mold and all kinds of bad things. So let's expose those spots. If you're joining us in the chat, feel free to say hi, to hang out with us. We're here to have fun together, van building, chatting about all things van related, mysticism, theology, seekers of unity. Okay, that is one bolt over there. And where's the second bolt? No, there. There should be two bolts. There's the second bolt. Great. Let's pull that out. And we're going to have to repeat that for all four sides. We're going to be taking these bolts out and closing them up, putting silicone in there and then closing them up again. So let's get to removing these bolts. Where is my wrench? is. See, this is why it pays to be organized, or else you spend 3 minutes looking for this. And every time you need a tool, it adds up. Helps to spend 5 minutes getting organized. It pays dividends throughout the day while you're working. I don't need my gloves for this because we removed our insulation and it's kind of warm for gloves right now. So let's pop those off. Let us pop these off. What is going on? Oh, there we go. You know what, I could just use the tool for this. Where's my drill? There we go. Because our tools were all disorganized, took us 5 minutes to find that. That's funny. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. All I can say is that some people are full of a lot of life, and I was not intending on that being captured in the live stream, so my apologies for that indiscretion. All right. Oh yeah, of course that's leaking. Look at that sloppy job. Look at that sloppy job. We may as well take them all off while we're doing it. And then we can silicone them all and close them all back up. Let's do that. Of course that was leaking. There's like nothing at all stopping that from leaking. Silly, silly, silly. We're gonna have to do 8 bolts. This is kind of why I prefer not gluing things, because sometimes you need to go back and do something. Underneath. And it helps to not have glue in your way. Yeah, those are all kind of rusty, and rust means moisture. And that's no good. That's no good. Oh no. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. One there. And one there. Great. One there and one there. Okay. And then we're gonna have some more on this side. What we're doing now is there are some bolts that were bolted in on top with some aluminum. And I noticed while it was raining in here that there was water dripping off those bolts on the inside. So we are taking those bolts out, taking off the aluminum, putting silicone in all of them, rebolting them shut with sealant inside so they don't drip and get water inside our van behind our walls. This one actually looks not rusted at all, but there's a saying in Hebrew, imkfar azkfar. If you're doing it already, do it all the way. And while this one's not rusting now, we want to make sure it doesn't rust at all. Okay. What's up, Colin? What's up, Daniel? Welcome, people. Okay. Let us grab some silicone. Let's choose what we want to use here. We have a bunch of options. Let's see. We have silicone sealant, black. We have polyurethane sealant, gray. We have white dab window door sliding trim. Okay. Michael, you noting what we have here? Then we have this AMP, outperform silicone, wet surface application, prevents mold and mildew, kitchen, bath, and plumbing. That looks all right. This one, prim sealant. This one is some kind of glue. Okay, I'm gonna say our best shots look like polyurethane or silicone or this one. Let's get the options out. This one, silicone, high heat, permanent heat resistant elastic rubber seal for fireplace gas heating. Oh, this is for high heat. I don't know if I need that. This is polyurethane sealant, multi-surface application, excellent for dynamic joints, primerless adhesive. Works on metal. And this is AMP, kitchen and bath sealant. What do we say? I'd use the Altas. The Volcom is paintable but nasty. All right, there it is. We got our AMP. Let's see if there's enough in that, and let's hope that that is not all clogged up in there because no one put a cap on it. But thank you, Michael. Very helpful to have you here. Where's our bin? There's our bin. That was a good throw. I kind of want like a corkscrew to get the dry stuff out so I can push out the fresh stuff. And we're gonna need a caulking gun, which I have inside. So let me grab that. Okay, we got a caulking gun. Michael, do you have a trick for getting the dry material out of the tip so that we can access what's hopefully wet inside? I don't know if it is, but I'm gonna stop poking around in there, try to get some of the dry stuff out. By the way, I picked up this little, like, is it called an awl, AWL? I think it's so handy to have a little pokey thing in a toolkit, and I frankly don't know why more tool setups don't have some pokey thing, or maybe they do and I just don't know. Anyone who's worked in trades or handy stuff, let me know if they have a pokey thing and if it's more common than I realize. This is going to be a little pain to get out. Who knows how much dry stuff there is in here. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that feels wet underneath. Oh, that's not bad at all. Drill bit. Drill bit's the way to do that, okay. And awl or nose picker, quarter key puller. Those are all things to do this. Is that what you're answering, Michael? I gotta Google that. Can I Google and not throw you guys off the chat? quarter. Around all that much. Around all that much. Okay. Okay, now the challenge is going to be to get on the roof because we don't really have a ladder that's roof height here. We have one down at the shop, but let's do it. Let's do it. And we're loading up our caulking gun. Quarter key puller is like an elbow with a bend for hooking behind things. Tradesmen call them nose or booger pokes. That is fun. I like that. Okay. Look at this. We're doing an outside view for this activity. I'm actually just gonna set the tripod up here in a place where it hopefully won't fall, and then I'll get up and do those spots. Hopefully. I don't know if I can get high enough, but we'll try. Now, I know you're not supposed to stand on that, but I'm standing on it anyways. That's what I got. All right. This is really the view you guys want, but balancing on one foot while we pull up our pants. All right, let's see what we got here. We got a little spacer, a little rubber spacer, and then we have our holes that are completely untreated for any sealant. Just like I thought. All right, let's throw some sealant on there. Let's close these bad boys up. First, we gotta get that to come out. That would be helpful. What did Michael say? Use a drill bit? Let's try that. Excuse me. I feel like I could use a screw as well. It's the right thickness. Too thick. Oh, there we go. We got some of that good stuff coming out. All right. Let's go. Still a little constipated. You probably cut the hole bigger. Where can I put this? Let's try. Let's try and see what happens. Okay. we'll put a nice amount of splooge on here. And we'll do the same for here. Alright. Alright, that looks good to me. I don't think any water's getting in there now. Sweet. All right, now we bolt that down and we let the splooge do its thing. Oh, that's covered in splooge right now. Do we have some paper towel? It's too much splooge action. Paper towel. Or something to wipe that off with. What do we have that's dispensable? This will work great. Perfect. Let's try to keep that away. And let's pop that locking thread back on. Washer. Tighten that by hand so I don't over crank this. I should probably wear gloves for this activity, right? Or else my hands will get covered in whatever that stuff is. Polyurethane sealant. Time for some hand tightening. Oh yeah. That feels good. Probably needs a lot more tightening still. Feels good. Tight. Let's put on some gloves for this activity so we don't have to have our hands covered in this stuff for the next few days. I did learn a good trick. If you get your hands covered in adhesive gooey stuff, if you wear gloves the next time, wet it out and it's easier to get whatever was on your hand off before. So if you don't wear gloves the first time, just wear gloves next time. All right. How's this view? Are we okay with this view, or do you want to get more close up and personal with the action? I got medium-sized gloves, but maybe I should have just got them large because these are a bit of a pain to get on and off every time. Well, off is easy. It's on that's the pain. If I'm being honest. All right, time for our second round of splooge. That feels tight and not going anywhere. Good. Inside. These are good railings. I may use them for mounting something later. Maybe like a solar panel. Should I do a solar panel? What do you think? All right. راح تعال دينا إلى هنا من 5 هاكا ونيم زبري. I should probably wipe that down before I put adhesive. This is wet. Let's do it properly, why don't we? Let's do it properly. Hey man, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Looks like it's rolling right along.
Oh yeah, we're making good progress.
So I know there's a place in town that does really high-end roofing.
Yeah.
Is that where you got your windows done?
I went in there to get the windows put in, yeah.
They do. They do. What sort of refurb additions to their manufacturing?
Well, not really. I actually just know someone who works there, so I have. I
Good
don't.
connection.
Yeah, I don't know if they like do general work for the public. A buddy of mine who's involved with that operation.
That's a tricky thing to do, put the window in there.
Yeah, you know, even in the shop with all of the professional tools available, it still took me a while, and it still was not easy.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
on
I
top.
noticed that
Yeah,
actually when it was parked out front there. I'm just I'm living vicariously.
totally. Yeah, feel free to come over and have a look inside.
Oh, I will.
I'll show you what's been done.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, totally. Feel
I
free.
got the food I got to put away, but I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'd love to show you. I'd love to show you and get your input.
I really enjoy that.
Good.
With every thought today, I just picked up some spring because I had an ultrasound done. I had to fast for 8 hours.
Oh
So I
damn.
got up at 3 o'clock.
Oh gosh.
8 and then waited 8 hours until my 11 o'clock appointment.
Everything okay? You feeling all right?
Yeah, it's just a lifetime of a sour stomach.
Oh gosh.
And I finished a musical. I finished phase one of my musical project.
Oh cool.
And the last year, I was kind of pushing myself maybe more than I should have.
Sure.
So, but it seems to be resolving itself.
Oh good. I'm glad to hear that.
Indeed, yeah.
Oh good.
But I just sometimes it's best just to eliminate it enough time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not quite where you are, but I have to remember sometimes that the 30s ain't the 20s either. So
Yeah.
I'm already beginning to feel where I push myself too much.
Well, obviously, you're a guy that likes to get things done.
Yeah.
And it's for those of us in that realm. Like my best friend, he's a few years older than me, but he's a builder, and he's out there. He was out there with stinking hot putting new windows in his house.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta work through the heat. There's no.
He's got more money than you and I will ever see.
Right.
He earned it the hard way.
Right.
And it's like, man, you can't find somebody to do that. Oh, they wouldn't do it right.
Totally. No,
Sorry, I look at my road.
yeah. See you soon. Come back. Just for some context, that was my neighbor I was chatting with. I got to know him because the first night that I was out here working, I didn't know how long I could be out working without disturbing people. So I was like, you know what, I'll kind of just work until someone comes over and says something. So no one came over, but the next morning he came by, he's like, dude, that was not really time for you to be out working. And I was like, oh, my bad. I was kind of just testing the waters and to see what my timing, framework was. But anyways, we've been best of friends since then. He's been really sweet, and glad that I've been respectful. So now we're good buds. And now we're gonna close up these bolts up here. Look at that, I woke up and I still managed to get my arm covered in goop. All right. We also have lights. We have house lights that we could turn on if our hands weren't so covered in all this kind of terrible stuff. Oh, we can't turn on the house lights because the battery's off. Let's turn that on. Now we can hopefully turn on the house lights. Sweet. Oh, those are dimmed all the way down. Great. We got some house lights back on, and we can. Oh, these gloves are getting gross and sweaty. Wow. All right. That's one bolt. And then we'll go and tighten by hand as we've been doing. A little extra work to tighten by hand, but a lot more extra work if we strip out the bolt. Isn't that right? Whoopsies. How's our progress looking, guys? Oh, it's warm in here. Let's flick on the fan. We need to open the vent for that. Oh. Oh gosh. All right. We got our vent going and we got our doors back open. We do not have to be dying in here. And what were we up to? Oh, we were closing these by hand. All right. Okay. Okay. That is tight enough. That should hopefully not leak. Okay, next. Next, we get back outside and we do the flip side. Oh, it's kind of warm right now, but like humid. Sweating. That is dirty inside of there. All right. All right. And let's add inside to tighten that up. All right, I'll tighten this by hand. Just a second. All right. I know what we can do to make this easier. We can use an extension. We can use an extender. Oh, that's much easier. All right, friends, we're gonna take a break. Sweating out here. Thanks for joining.